I just bought The Way, the Superior Man. This book apparently holds a guide from changing from an average man to a superior man in today's society. And if you also want to become a superior man, you better keep watching. Because today, we're going to take a quick deep dive into part 1 titled A Man's Way. So without further ado, stop hoping for completion of anything in life. See, most men make the error thinking that one day it will be done. They think, if I can work hard enough, then one day I could rest. Or, one day, my woman will understand something and then she will stop complaining. Or, I'm only doing this now, so one day I can do what I really want with my life. The masculine error is to think that one day, all things will be fundamentally different. But I'm here to tell you that they won't. It never ends. As long as life continues. The creative challenge is to tussle, play, and make love with the present moment, while you are giving your unique gift. Live with an open heart even if it hurts. Closing down in the midst of pain is denial of a man's true nature. A superior man is free in feeling and action, even in the midst of great pain and hurt. If necessary, a man should live with a hurting heart rather than a closed one. He should learn to stay in the wound of pain and act with spontaneous skill and love, even from that place. Live as your father was dead. Now I know most of us do have inspirational, loving fathers that want the best for us, but even if you don't, you still must love your father, but yet be free from your father's expectations and criticisms in order to be a free man. Know your real edge and don't fake it. It is honorable for a man to admit his fears, his resistance, and his edge of practice. It is simply true that every man has his limit and his capacity for growth, and even his destiny. But it is dishonorable for him to lie to himself and others about his real place. He shouldn't pretend he is more enlightened than he is, nor should he stop short of his actual edge. The more a man's playing his real edge, the more valuable he is as a good company for other men, the more he can be trusted to be authentic and fully present. Where a man's edge is located is less important than whether he is actually living his edge at truth, especially rather than being lazy and diluted. Always hold your deepest realization. Eternity must be a man's home moment by moment. Without it, he is lost, always striving, grasping at puffs of smoke. A man must do anything necessary to glimpse and then stabilize this ever-fresh realization and then organize his life around it. Never change your mind just to please a woman. If a woman suggests something to change your perspective, then you should make a new decision based on your new perspective. But you should never betray your own deepest knowledge and intuition in order to please your woman or go along with her. Both you and her will be weakened by such action. You will grow to resent each other, and then the crust of accumulated inauthenticity will burden your love. Your purpose must come before your relationship. Every man must know that his highest purpose cannot be reduced by any particular relationship. Because of a man, if you prioritize your relationship over your purpose, you weaken yourself, you disserve the universe, and you cheat your woman off an authentic man who can offer her full, undivided presence. Lean just beyond your edge. In any given moment, a man's growth is optimized if he leans just beyond his edge, his capacity, and also his fear. You should not be too lazy, happily stagnating in the zone of security and comfort. Nor should you push way too far beyond your edge, because you will stress yourself unnecessarily. You should lean just slightly beyond your edge of the fear of discomfort, constantly, in everything you do. Do it for love. The way a man penetrates the world should be the same way he penetrates his woman. Not merely for personal gain or pleasure, but to magnify love, openness, and depth. Enjoy your friend's criticism. A man's capacity to receive another man's direct criticism is a measure of his capacity to receive masculine energy. If you do not have a good relationship with the masculine energy, then you will act like a child and be hurt and defensive, rather than making use of the other man's criticism. If you don't know your purpose, discover it now. Without a conscious life purpose, you will become totally lost, drifting and adapting to events rather than creating your own. Without knowing your life purpose, your life will become weakened, impotent existence, perhaps eventually becoming sexually impotent. Be willing to change everything in your life. A man must be prepared to give his 100% to his purpose, fulfill his karma or dissolve it, and then let go of that specific form of living. He must be capable of not knowing what to do with his life, entering a period of unknowingness and waiting for a vision or a new form of purpose to emerge. These cycles of strong specific action, followed by periods of not knowing what the hell is going on, are natural for a man who is shedding layers of karma. Don't use your family as an excuse. If a man never discovers his deepest purpose, or if you permanently compromise it and use your family as an excuse to doing so, then your core becomes weakened and you will lose your depth and presence. Your woman will lose trust and sexual polarity with you. Even though you might be putting so much work into parenting your children and doing housework, be a full participant in caring for your children and the household. But if you give up your truest, deepest purpose to do so, ultimately, everyone is going to suffer. Don't get lost in tasks or duties. Whatever the specifics of a man's purpose, you must always refresh the element of your life through regular meditation and retreat. A man should never get lost in the details of his life and forget that ultimately, and in truth, life amounts to nothing other than what is the deepest truth of this present moment. Tasks don't get a man anywhere more conscious or free than he is capable of being in this present moment. Stop hoping for your woman to get easier. A woman often seems to test her man's capacity to see his deepest truth and purpose. She tests him to feel his freedom and depth of love, to know if he is trustable. Her test might come in the form of complaining, challenging you, changing her mind, doubting you, distracting you, and even undermining your purpose in a subtle or not so subtle way. You should never think that a woman's testing is going to end and that your life will get easier. Rather, you should appreciate that she does those things to feel your strength, integrity, and openness. Because as you grow, so will her testing. Now, if you made it this far, go ahead and leave a like and hit the subscribe button, as you will not want to miss part 2. And with that, you've now learned a man's way.